Kakadosh Boker Or Mishna Yomi Masechet Avot Perek Bet. We're Pirkei Avot chapter 2. Mishnah Chet and Tet, Mishnah 8 and 9. Rabban Yochanan ben Zakkai Kibel Milel v'Shamai. Rabban Yochanan ben Zakkai was one of the students of Hillel and Shammai. Vehu haya omer, and he used to say as follows: Im lamadta Torah arbe. If you learned a lot of Torah, al tachzik tova latzmecha. Don't pat yourself on the back. Ki lekach notzarta. You were created for that purpose. So if you are going to be created for that purpose, what are you patting yourself on the back? You're doing what you were created for. Yeah. He comes now and he says like this. He says, Lekach notzarta. So therefore he comes and he says like this. He had 5 students. Yeah. Velu, and these are the 5 students. Eliezer ben Urkanos. Right? Yeah, so now it's something very, very interesting, right? He was able to come and he was able to list their praises, meaning that if you actually come and you pay attention, right, Rabbi is able to come and he's able to count and to sing the praises of each one of his students, right? Why? Because he knows the praises, he knows them well, so he knows each one the praises. So hu haya moneh shvachan, and he used to say as follows: Rabbi Eliezer ben Urkanus, bor sud she'lo me'abed tipa. What does that mean? He's like a pit that it's sealed. So when you put water inside the pit, it does not lose one drop of water. Meaning usually when you come and you put the water in a pit, it gets absorbed into the pit, so therefore you don't get as much water. But if you put the seed, which is basically lime or the clay or whatever you want to call it now, cement, it will not let that the water will go out. So therefore here it's going to be he's a bor sud she'lo me'abed tipa. Right? Rabbi Yoshua ben Chananya, he comes and he says, Asher yolato, fortunate is the one that gave birth to him. Right? Why? Right? Because we already know that Rabbi Yoshua ben Chananya, his mother used to bring him to the Bet Midrash. Right? It was the mother. Nowadays it's the father. The fathers become mothers. Still, but basically, the mother used to come and bring, right? The mother used to bring the child to the Bet Knesset in order that he should always hear Divrei Torah. But if he's going to bother, she was going to be in the Zarat Nashim and she would take him out, and that's it. But not always do we have that. Right? So he says what happens is Asher yolato, fine. Rabbi Yosef Kohen, Hasid. He's a Hasid. Rabbi Shimon ben Netanel, he was very, very God-fearing. He was a Yerechet. Rabbi Elazar ben Arach was Mayana Mitgaber. He was constantly growing, right? Growing stronger and stronger and stronger. So each one, they had a certain quality which was very, very incredible that they were able to come and to be able to continue growing. Huaya Omer, he used to say, right? If you have all Chochmei Yisrael in one balance of a scale, and you have Eliezer ben Urkanus on the second one, right? So remember that Rabbi Eliezer ben Urkanus was a bor seed she'lo me'abed tipa. He wouldn't lose a thing. So therefore he comes and he says, Machriya kulam. He would actually come Machriya everybody, because since he was a bor seed, he would never forget one thing that he was taught. Mamash, he was like, yeah, what is it called? Hyper Menezik. Okay. To remember. Yeah, we had somebody here, right? That no matter what, I would be able to say a Dvar Torah, and while he was here, he would remember every Dvar Torah that I gave. I could not repeat something because he would remember, huh? Yeah. So he says, Eliezer ben Urkanus b'kaf sheyam achriyot kulam. Abba Shaul omer mishmo. Yeah, kiva mendoza. Yeah. Yeah. So he says, Abba Shaul omer mishmo. Abba Shaul used to say, right, in his name, Im yu chol chochmei Yisrael b'kaf boznaim, Rabbi Eliezer ben Urkanus af imahem, Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah b'kaf shniya, machriya ut kulam. He would be machriya kulam. You would have Rabbi Elazar ben Arach. Now, if you actually realize before, that means it comes out as a slira. I don't understand who's greater, the bor sud she'lo me'abed tipa or Rabbi Elazar ben Arach, which is mayana mitgaber. So technically speaking, it's two different aspects of it. If you actually paid attention in Mishnah, so it's two different aspects to do with the concept of the growing. The mayana mitgaber is always, since he's always going to be continuing, he's a mavakesh, what do we call, right? What does that mean? He's a person that always wants to continue learning and learning and learning and learning. So he's going to be machriya et kulam. But the other one, mitzad the chokhmah, that's why you have two different aspects of machriya hu et kulam. So amar lahem Mishnah tet, right? Amar lahem tzuru ezu iderech yishar sheibak ba'adam. So he comes and he says, okay, fine. So he asks the 5 students, no, I'm going to give you a test today. What's the test? give me a direction. I want you to give me, for example, a way in order for a person to cling to do good, a person that he wants to be on a good path. What should he do? So Rabbi Eliezer Omer, Ain Tova. Rabbi Eliezer says a good eye. Rabbi Yoshua Omer, Chaver Tov, a good friend. Rabbi Yosef Omer, Shachen Tov, a good neighbor. Rabbi Shimon says, Aruet Tanulad, if you see the future. Rabbi Lazar Omer, Rabbi Lazar says, Lev Tov, a good heart. Amar Lahem, he comes and he says, I see that the words of Rabbi Lazar ben Arach are even more than all your words. Why? Shebichlal divarav divrechem. If a person has a good heart, everything else will follow suit. Meaning the good heart will drive him to have a good eye, will drive him to have a good friend, a good neighbor, to see what's going to happen in the future, to foresee his actions, the accountability of his actions. All these things will be according to the way that he's actually going to act. So everything starts from the lev. If you have a good heart, everything else is going to follow suit. So again, this is the Bilazar ben Azariach, which was the Mayana Midgaber. But the Mayana Midgaber, he continues growing and growing, so he has the heart, right, which is going to be there. Okay, Amar Lahem. So now he comes and he says the opposite way now. So he comes and he tells the people, no, I want you to show me, give me a bad way, meaning give me a path that I want you to distance yourself from. So each one said the exact opposite. Eliezer says, Ain Ra'ah, don't have a bad eye. Yeah, you're listening. I see that. So he says, right, Rabbi Yoshua Omer, Chaver Ra, right, a bad friend, right? Rabbi Yosef Omer, Rabbi Yosef says, Shachen Ra, bad neighbor. Rabbi Shimon says, Aloveh v'no meshalem. If you borrow and you don't pay, because that means obviously, Echad min loveh min makom, k'loveh min Kadosh Baruch Hu, shneimar loveh rashav v'lo yishalem, tzadik chonem v'notem. What does that mean? If a person did not see the future, it means that he's borrowing the money and he can't pay it back. So therefore, obviously, that's why he's not seeing the future. Rabbi Lazar ben Arach, he was the one that said Levra. Again says Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, Amar lehem roeh ani divrei Lazar ben Arach min divrechem shebichlal devarav divrechem. All your words are going to be encompassed by Levra. If a person has a Levra, so therefore that means all the bad things, whether it's going to be Chaver Ra, right? All the Ra, yeah, is going to be fall upon a person when he has this Levra.